Until someone drops 37 points in a quarter or scores 60 points with just a few dribbles, arguably no one will ever match Klay's nuclear scoring ability. Talk about catch and shoot in the flick of the wrist. Is there anyone in history of basketball that can bury a team with a three-point shooting avalanche like Klay Thompson? You still thinking? Let's revisit the 5 games in Klay's career that proved he's the second best shooter ever. Number 5, Klay's 14 threes versus the Chicago Bulls. What makes this Klay performance even crazier was that he came into this game in a rare shooting slump. To start the 2018 season, Klay was only shooting 39% from the floor through the first few games of the season. Until one night against Chicago, when Bulls fans got to witness arguably the most explosive scoring performance since the MJ Dynasty days. Klay had 6 3-pointers in only the first quarter, which was more threes than he made through the first 7 games of the season. You knew Klay was going to have that kind of night when he hit a step-back contested 3-pointer in the corner to get the party started. Then, he hit 3 after 3 after 3 after 3 after 3 to give him 22 first quarter points on 6 for 7 from downtown. Klay pretty much ran Chicago out of the gym to start the first quarter, and it looked like Chicago had no chance at winning the game. But Klay didn't care. So in the second quarter, Klay kept firing away for 14 more points, including 4 more threes.
Klay in the corner again.
After a collision with his teammate could have convinced Steve Kerr to yank him from the game and miss out on the opportunity to break Steph's 3-point career, Klay put on a headband and went God mode. In less than 8 minutes played in the fourth, Klay poured in 16 points and 4 more threes. With this last 3 of the game, they gave him 52 points and an NBA record 14 3-pointers in a game.
For NBA history, you got it! 14 threes in a game!
Klay knew he just broke the record when he hit his 14th 3 of the night. He roared in celebration as the United Center was treated to one of the most dazzling shooting displays ever in a time they'll always remember.
One of the best feelings of basketball when you touch the ball and feel like it's going in every time.
Number 4, 43 points on 4 dribbles. Wait, doesn't a player scoring a lot of points mean that he probably dribbled a lot? Klay Thompson, just 71 days after scoring 52 on 11 dribbles versus Chicago, scored 43 points on just 4 dribbles versus the Knicks in 2019. I guess Klay is the first guy in NBA history that said, hell with dribbling. He hit his first 9 shots without dribbling even once, and when he finally did dribble, he dribbled just once before hitting a left wing jumper, making it 10 shots made and 1 dribble. It's one thing if Klay was just catching and shooting threes all game long, but he was somehow, someway, scoring at every level on the floor and still managed to rarely dribble. I mean, it's just absurd to think about. He hit 11 shots that weren't threes, 18 for 29 shots and 7 threes by dribbling 4 times. Okay, I think I said it enough. Number 3, 60 points in 29 minutes. Some stats I'm about to share with you about this Klay Thompson performance will probably blow your mind. 60 points is insane enough, let alone doing it in less than 30 minutes of action. Which, by the way, Klay became the first player ever to record a 60-point game in less than 30 minutes of play. Klay is the first to do a lot of things, even the fact that he actually held the ball in his hands for only 88.4 seconds throughout the entire game, and he still got 60. If you're wondering how many dribbles he took this game, yeah, he took 11. To score 60 points. Talk about efficiency? Klays is second to none. What's even crazier is that Klay thought he dribbled even fewer times than he really did when he tweeted, "I don't think I had to take more than 5 dribbles the whole game, lol." Steve Kerr pulled Klay from the game early, so he didn't play the fourth quarter. But at one point during the 60-point explosion, Klay was on a pace for a 100-point game. Seriously, imagine if Klay played the whole game against the Indiana Pacers that day. To frame this better, when Wilt Chamberlain scored 100 points, he scored at a pace of 2.08 points per minute. When Klay scored 60, his pace was nearly identical to Wilt's with a pace of 2.0 points per minute. Alright, Steve Kerr, next time Klay goes bonkers with 60 points in like 25 minutes, let him finish the game.
Warriors are having fun. Klay for 3. Good!
Number 2, 37 points in a quarter. This is by far the most incredible 12 minutes of basketball I think any of us have ever witnessed. 16 for 25 shots, 11 for 15 from 3-point range, and 52 points in an onslaught of the poor Sacramento Kings. Remember how Klay claimed the all-time record with the most threes in a game with 14? He hit 9 3-pointers in just 1 quarter. Klay had 50 points entering the fourth quarter. But again, we didn't completely get to see what Klay could have maybe pulled off if he played another few minutes in the final period. I mean, just listen to the Golden State announcers on some of these epic shots he was hitting in the fourth.
5 for 5, including 3 threes. Oh, that's a deep one.
He shot for the Piedmonts. Oh, man.
They were just 1 quarter. Klay was perfect from the field with 13 for 13 shots, hit 9 for 9 threes, and broke the record for the most points in a quarter in NBA history. That record might stand for quite a while, don't you think? Number 1, Klay's greatest game ever and the birth of Game 6 Klay. At just 26 years old, Klay Thompson was already becoming known as one of the greatest shooters of all time with rarely efficient scoring capabilities. But his best playoff moment was still due, and he answered the bell in a crucial Game 6 on the road with his team in a 3-2 hold. The Warriors were, of course, coming off of their record-breaking 73-win season that desperately needed a championship as the finisher to validate all the theatrics during the 82 games in the regular season. But when they lost Game 4 by a 24-point margin and went down 3-1, OKC fans let the Warriors hear it as they thought their team just shunned a 73-win team. Klay took note of that. Klay had a sneaky solid first half in Game 6, but it was the second half where he caught fire. After a modest 6 points in the third, here came the birth of Game 6 Klay. Klay got the party started by nailing a right wing 3 off a screen. The first of an epic 7 3-pointers he hit in just the fourth quarter. With under 5 minutes to play in regulation, Klay drilled this deep 3-pointer at the top of the key in the face of Russell Westbrook that really struck fear into the building.
It gives him time to get set and knock it down.
A long three for Thompson, and that is an NBA record.
Klay was getting hotter, OKC was getting this much closer to being forced to play Game 7 on the road, and OKC fans were shook. That shot gave Klay his 10th 3-pointer of the night and trimmed the OKC lead to 4. And then, the dagger.
Thompson fires for 3, yes! Golden State by 3.
To give him an NBA playoff record 11 3-pointers on the night, Klay ripped the hearts out of OKC by absolutely ripping a right wing 3-pointer that effectively forced a Game 7 on the Warriors' home floor. Klay's reaction after hitting that dagger was elite. He exploded with energy knowing that it was because of him, the Warriors inched closer to an all-time playoff comeback. In one of the biggest games in franchise history, Klay went off for 41 points and reigned in a record 11 threes with 7 huge threes in the fourth quarter. Klay led the Warriors to an iconic win, and thus, the birth of Game 6 Klay. Did that convince you? Despite being the second or third option throughout his entire career, Klay is the owner of several records and milestones and has done a few things that only he has accomplished in NBA history. 37 points in a quarter, 9 threes in a quarter, the most threes in a single game, and famously scoring a 40, 50, 60 points in a game with just a couple of dribbles. Is there any other player in the league history that has had such nuclear capabilities? Maybe just one, his splash bro Steph Curry.
Curry in the front court, down the right wing. Screen by Draymond. Curry with another 3. Got it! Curry!
You can relive some of his own greatest moments ever here. 9 times Steph Curry went too far.